Why is the Mona Lisa so expensive? You might be thinking, because it's so rare and no one can buy it. That is also true, but we'll get to that in a second. But what is the real reason why paintings are so expensive nowadays?
To you, madam, for 97 million.
Spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with inflation, even though probably it might. The Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci in the 16th century, so if it's not because it's rare and it's not because Leonardo, but listen out to this. The reason is much simpler than you might think, and I'm going to explain it to you in a second. Look, I'm not going to argue that it's not a beautiful painting, and it was painted by a genius that knew how the body and how the mind and how the world works very well. It is a one-of-a-kind painting, right, of a portrait. I'm not denying that it's not beautiful, but it is just a portrait, right? There's nothing crazy about it. It's not about a war. It's a small painting. People love it, right? They love it. Okay. The techniques used in this painting are very simple, right? This was what he was doing to make money, and he does it well. The painting is now owned by a French museum in Paris, where the Eiffel Tower is. And this what brings me to my point. Museums. You go to a museum to see the artworks, the paintings, the antiques, and that's how they make money. So the most famous painting in the world, I wonder how many people it brings every year to Paris. Let's investigate. So one Google search later and we got an answer. It is roughly around 10 million people a year the Mona Lisa brings. To see the Mona Lisa and the other 33,000 artworks you want to see, you gotta pay 22 euros, which is around $24. Now, I'm not very good at maths, even though it was my strongest subject. If you take $24 and multiply it by 10 million, that painting brings in around 240 million profit of revenue every year. It brings 240 million a year, just a simple painting. Now that is crazy. But why is it so popular, right? What is the reason why nowadays everyone knows who the Mona Lisa is? The reason for its popularity is the theft of the painting in 1911, and when the news of the crime broke out on August 22nd, it caused an immediate sensation. But the problem with putting a price onto a painting like this is that it's not gonna be sold. This painting will never be sold. Okay, listen here. Mona Lisa is part of the public domain, which means it's owned by the government. It's owned by the country. Because of its popularity and because of a public image, it's not going to be sold. But that doesn't really stop us on putting a price onto it. Let's say the Mona Lisa is a business. Some businesses come in and make $1 million revenue a year, and when they try to sell the company, they take the revenue and they put a multiplier on it, and then you get the value of the company. Obviously, it's not as simple as that, but you know, just for the sake of the video, let's do that together. I'm doing so much fucking running in this video. So if you want to know how much a company costs based on just profit values, obviously assets are a big thing as well in a company, but this is just a painting, so usually it's around 5 to 8 times the annual revenue post-tax. But you know, we're not nerds on this channel. If you're a nerd, click off right now. We're not nerds on this channel, so we're just gonna do the no tax. Because fuck tax. Who even pays tax nowadays in 2024? So if we take 240 million a year profit and multiply it by, let's just say 7, you know, between 5 and 8, how much would this painting really be worth? So if we take those calculations into account and forget about, you know, the sentimental value and all that bullshit, if we take what we talked about and plug it into the formula, and I did the calculation in my head, you will get a value estimate of $1.6 billion. So yeah, it's quite an expensive painting if I'd say so myself. You know, it is an expensive painting, but if you think about it, if every subscriber donates $5.7 million to me, we could actually buy this painting together, and then I could pay you back. I talk about why art on clothes is shit, and I talk about why art is art. And thank you.